Hello, madam. My name is Charles Rust of Rusty Nail LLC. I have a wonderful opportunity that I'd love to speak with you about, if I could have a moment of your time.
Well, I don't know you, and you've got the slimy grin of a man with nothing to lose. But I live life to the fullest. Come on in.
I'll get right to it, Sarah. Inside one of these vials is the opportunity of a lifetime. In fact, the opportunity of all human history. Inside one of these vials is water from the fountain of youth. Immortality. You'll be forever young. Do you want to live forever? Forever? Forever young?
Yeah, but how long is this gonna take? I've got Zumba class starting.
Zumba? Who has time for that ridiculous, rhythmically challenged gyration when everlasting life is on the table?
Is that the one? The vial on the table?
No, that was a mistake. Listen, in one of these vials, everlasting life. The other 13, certain death. So choose what... You just picked it up and drank it without even thinking about it.
You said choose, so I chose.
I said choose wisely. How do you know you didn't choose the one that would kill you?
I told you, I live life to the fullest. I'm a decisive person. It's how I be.
Yes, but this could be a life or death decision. I mean, what is wrong with you?
Okay, so did I drink the right one or not?
I don't know. Let me see. Which one did you pick?
You don't know?
No, I mean, I was in the middle of my speech, and then you grabbed the thing, and I didn't see it. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna drink it till I find the immortality thing.
Yes, but until you do, you're just doubling up on the poison.
I told you, I'm the decider. I make a decision, and I do it. I want to eat Chinese food that's been on my counter for a week.
Bad decision.
I do it. I want to blow my rent check to see Miley Cyrus Philharmonic Orchestra in concert.
Oh, bad decision.
I do it. I want to drink vial after vial of possible life-ending poison. Oh.
Wait a second. That's not the poison. That's the potion that turns you into a tiny plush Mario toy. I sometimes get them confused.
What?
And now I have a house. Hello, sir. My name is Charles Rust of Rusty Nail LLC, and I have a wonderful opportunity that I'd like to speak to you about, if I could have a moment of your time. What have I done?
So decisions matter, and making good choices, like maybe not letting a stranger into your house and not drinking vial after vial of poison, they really matter too, because for every decision, there's a consequence. Today, as we continue in the story of the Bible, God's story of how He wants to be in relationship with His most prized creation, humans, we're going to be looking at a story of a king of Israel. Last week, we talked about how God established a nation so that He could be in relationship with humans, a nation where people followed God's leadership. But the nation of Israel, they didn't always do that. See, they would follow God for a while, but eventually a king of the people would lead them off track, and God would forgive them and bring them back, but then eventually they'd wander off again and do life on their own. And today we're going to look at a story of one particular king who did this, a guy named Zedekiah. And the Bible tells us that Zedekiah was an evil king who would never listen to the prophet of God, a man who spoke for God named Jeremiah. Now see, Jeremiah would come to Zedekiah and warn him that he was taking the people of Israel down a wrong path and to start making better decisions and turn back to God. But Zedekiah wouldn't listen, and he would get so annoyed with Jeremiah. One time he imprisoned him, he put him in stocks in the middle of the city, but Jeremiah wouldn't give up. He kept preaching, telling the people to turn back to God. So Zedekiah was even more mad now. He had Jeremiah thrown into a well. But then, every time people would come by the well, Jeremiah would start preaching again. And you'd think that Zedekiah would listen. You'd think he'd say, okay, maybe there's something to what this guy is saying since I can't get him to shut up. But he doesn't. And not only was he in rebellion against God, he was in rebellion against this Babylonian king. So because Zedekiah wouldn't listen to God and he kept doing whatever he wanted, this other king, this Babylonian king, came to Israel, defeated them in battle, took the Israelite people as slaves, and killed Zedekiah's family in front of him before blinding him. And I know that's really intense and a sad end to the story, but it's important for us to learn. Why? two reasons. One is that for every decision we make, there's a consequence. It can be good, it can be bad, depending on what we choose. And God wants us to make good choices. He wants us to do what He tells us to and to listen to the advice of godly people like your leaders and your parents. When we make good choices, we are more than likely going to receive good consequences from those. And here's the second reason that this story is so important, because God doesn't give up on Israel. Even though they choose not to turn back to Him, even though they said, whatever, I'll do what I want, God still loved them. And He still gave them a second chance, eventually sending His Son through that nation. And God isn't done with you. Just because you've made bad decisions doesn't mean God doesn't love you. And when you make bad decisions, God still does love you. God's love isn't based on how good you are. God's love is based on how good He is. He wants you to make good decisions for your sake because He loves you and wants good things for you. But even though He loves you, He won't take away the consequences of your bad decisions. When you lie, you'll lose someone's trust. When you do something wrong, you may still get punished like Zedekiah. But God still loves you. So talk in your groups about how you can make better decisions, and then we'll move on.